What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the Cool Koi Show, brought to you by the Undisputed Ruler MMA. I'm yours truly, MMA Cool Koi, and fight fans. Fight fans, how you doing today, fight fans? I feel a little bit better now that I thought about the fight. I thought about the matchup. I thought about the danger, the less danger in this matchup than I felt when I first heard about the announcement. Fight fans, I feel a bit better. How are you? Fight fans, I'm nervous about this fight. I'm nervous about Charles stepping in there. Just 39 days ago, Charles Oliveira got flatlined unconscious for the first time.
Every time he throws a kick. How Charles is absorbing these shots. Well, he's already busted up. Oh! Out cold.
A man of his word.
Oh my goodness.
And
He
now
called
the
it.
new.
What I tell you?
Oh my God!
Did I not say first round? Did I not say first round? Did I not say first round? What? What?
Oh my God!
Did I not say first round? What? I told you, boy.
He's stepping back into the octagon October the 11th. I have every reason to be nervous, scared for him, and just having the jitters every night before I go to bed, fight fans. Thinking about this fight because October is going to be here in a minute. And it's the beginning of October. Fight fans, this is scary, fight fans. But I feel a little bit better that I broke the fight down. And Rafael Fiziev, he's not the most dangerous fighter like a Max Holloway. So, like a Max Holloway, maybe somebody like Patty Batty, a fighter coming up like that. I didn't want Charles to fight like a Patty Batty, or I didn't want him to fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway said he was injured with a hand injury.
I'd be sick, but if you have hopes of me fighting before the end of the year, probably not gonna happen. I see a specialist sometime this week, and I already met with my doctor, and now I gotta go meet the specialist, but things are not looking too up of me fighting one more time this year.
So I kind of figure, okay, well, Charles might take a fight with him for the BMF belt. Two veterans going back at it. Max Holloway beat Charles years ago when Charles had that injury. And Charles, he want to right that wrong, man. And I know he want to get back in there and just, get a win before 2025 is over with, to let everybody know that the brunt still exists. I'm still a dangerous force in a lightweight division, and I'm coming for that belt. This is not a step back for me, and that's the mindset that Charles Oliveira have. And a lot of veterans have that mindset when they get knocked out, when they lose. And I feel a little bit better about Rafael Fiziev, than I did with Max. Max, we know that he's a totally different fighter, flatlining Justin Gaethje. He's packing, some muscles. I know that size. It fits him at lightweight. The power that he has at lightweight that he didn't have at featherweight. And he's just looking better. He's moving better. Good range for Max Holloway. Power in his hands. That would have been a bad matchup for Charles Oliveira, in my personal opinion, more than a Rafael Fiziev. That's just me. But we see a lot of veterans, after they get flatlined and knocked out, they try to come back, right that wrong. We seen Alex Pereira do it, for example. Israel Adesanya flatlined Alex Pereira, and then 3 months later, Pereira's moving up to light heavyweight to fight John Bohovlich, you know? Like, wow, John Bohovlich, we know that have power in his hands, fight fans. We know this. Great boxer, good kicks of his own. A good MMA wrestling background as well, so he can take it to the mat, which he did in that fight. And I'm like, man, this is bad. I don't think that Alex should, do this. But the difference is that Alex Pereira is moving up to 205. So he had those, he'd have to drain. I feel like he was draining himself to 185. I really did. I feel like 205 is the home for Alex Pereira. He's a big guy. I know he had to cut a lot of weight. Not a lot, but I know he had to cut, about 20, 25 pounds to 185. So I felt like lightweight was good for him. But I was nervous for him because he had just got flatlined unconscious like Charles did.
Got him again.
And came right back to fight John Bohovlich. And he won. He won. He got it done. And I was scared for Alex, man, and he fought John Bohovlich. You know what I'm saying? We know Bohovlich got that power, man. The legendary Polish power. Like that power is no joke. But he won. So I'm not sad. I'm not too worried like I was, but I'm still nervous for Charles because how is Charles going to look getting KO'd for the first time? How's his confidence? How's his chin? How's his mind, his brain, mentally stepping back in the octagon October the 11th, which would be 105 days from now, fight fans, when he's stepping there to fight on Rafael Fiziev. And how did Rafael Fiziev even get this fight? I got a lot of questions, fight fans, and I want you to answer these questions for me, please, because I'm a little confused. How did Rafael get this fight? Lost against Gaethje twice. He beat Bama Hamdi's, that guy. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. But you know what I'm talking about. I got the fight reaction on my channel. He won his last one, Rafael. Lost against Justin Gaethje twice, though. I know the rematch was short notice. I understand that. But I thought maybe they would have gave Rafael Fiziev like a Dan Hooker, like a Gamrock or something like that, but they gave him a ranked opponent in Charles Oliveira. And I kind of felt sad because I felt like the UFC was trying to hype their guy up in Rafael Fiziev. He didn't try to build him up so he can try to, to see that he can make a name off Charles Oliveira. We see this all the time where the new guys coming up, like a Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler. Paddy Pimblett dominates Michael Chandler, and he make a name off Michael Chandler, and he's moving up. And that's on his resume. That's what the UFC does. It's like a thunderstorm. It happened to Tony Ferguson, and I don't want to see that with Charles. I'm sure we all love Charles Oliveira, and we don't want to see him go out like that. We don't want to see him we want to see him get slept again, fight fans. We want to see him take a beating because we just don't know where that chin is. That's the big question mark in all this, is where his chin and his confidence. When fighters get KO, knocked out, and flatline, they fight different. They're more timid. They're more on the outside. It's just not that the same they was once before. Aggressive, coming forward. We've seen that in a lot of fighters. Rashad Evans before he retired, Tony Ferguson. He was a boogeyman. And he became, the boo-boo man. You know what I'm saying? Just a shit show from Tony Ferguson. All his fights after he took that beating from Justin Gaethje, he just wasn't the same. And he came back too soon. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. And I just don't want Charles to go through that. Now, he's fighting in Brazil. So I know he have a lot of confidence fighting in Brazil. I think the last time he fought in Brazil was when he fought Kevin Lee, which was back in 2020, and it wasn't even a crowd. It was during the COVID time. So I know that he wanted to, get back to Brazil and take this opportunity with Rafael Fiziev. And to show everybody that he has still got it. Maybe if he can beat Rafael, then they can make that Charles and Max Holloway fight, and Max, hand to be healed sometime in 2026. Because Max says he's not fighting none this year. It's a low possibility he'll fight again this year in 2025. So yes. Now, when I broke this fight down, I realized that Rafael Fiziev, he's a Muay Thai fighter. Charles Oliveira is a Muay Thai fighter. And that's what excites me about this fight. That's a good part about the fight. It gets me excited. I'm a Muay Thai fan. I trained Muay Thai, for like 2-3 months. So I got some experience. I love the Muay Thai style. And they although they're both Muay Thai fighters, their style is different. Charles Oliveira is more the Muay Thai fighter. Like, he got that peekaboo, style like this. Hands up like that, guard up. Really, he flapped the lead right leg up like that to set up his kicks, his front kicks, and things like that. And he throw elbows, as his opponent's coming in. He got a lot of weapons. He got a lot of weapons. To be a Muay Thai fighter like Charles Oliveira. We know the ground game. I don't want to get into that. You already know how Charles Oliveira ground game is. Wicked ground game. And Fiziev, let's not get it twisted. He punched hard. He got some really good combos. He Fiziev's like something out of a video game. He hit the Matrix. He throw the kick. Woo! Like the wave. Woo!
Stay away from the basic thing. Oh, there he is. It's Neo from the Matrix again.
Straight out the way. So we know Fiziev, he got some skills, man, when it comes to Muay Thai. And he really, really displayed that in all his fights. The problem is, what made me not so nervous about this fight now, I feel a bit better now that I'm talking about him on the camera now, is that Rafael Fiziev haven't had a finish in some years. Haven't had a finish in some years. And I was the one saying that he was going to beat Gaethje when he first fought Gaethje. I was like, man, Rafael's going to sleep Gaethje. Gaethje get hit a lot, this, that, and the third, but he couldn't finish Gaethje. He couldn't finish his last fight. So he's not like a finisher. He's more of like a points fighter, throw his combos in and out, really flashy. Fiziev's a really, really like flashy guy, that the UFC does have high hopes on in the future. And and that's good for Charles. He's not a power puncher. Charles can work. Usually when Charles face like a good striker like the Poiriers, the Justin Gaethjes, the Michael Chandlers, Charles Oliveira usually take it to the ground. He uses his grappling, his overall mixed martial arts skill set. And I feel like Charles Oliveira has the better skill set than Rafael Fiziev. He got the ground game, black belt, phenomenal on the ground. He got those straight shots. That right, if he hit you with that right hand, it could be night. It can really hurt you. You heard what Justin Gaethje said. Charles Oliveira hits like a truck. He said he had his brain rattling. You know what I'm saying? His brain just rattling into the next day. That's how hard Charles Oliveira hit. So Charles Oliveira bring a lot of danger to this fight. But like I said, that question mark is his chin. How is his chin going to hold up? His mindset, his confidence, fighting in Brazil. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Charles Oliveira with the brightest lights. I'm pretty sure he's going to headline. He's headlining that fight night card on October 11th. And fight fans, another question. Why they do my man Charles like that? Charles is a pay-per-view worthy fighter. He's not a fight night fighter. Maybe they had in Brazil and needed somebody that has a big name to headline the Brazil card. But come on now, Charles Oliveira is a pay-per-view guy, pay-per-view guy. He could have been a cold main event. That would have been a cold main event of a UFC pay-per-view card, not a fight night. Charles Oliveira, he upper echelon, what I'm saying? Let's not let that knockout UFC dictate Charles Oliveira rankings, But yeah, I really see this being a good fight. I'm not nervous as I was before. When I first seen it, scared the hell out of me, because I'm like, oh my God, October? I thought maybe November, December, if he's going to come back. I didn't like him come back in November or December. I would really prefer him to come back early 2026. That's how I felt. Like I was telling my man Richard Lee, like Max Holloway, when he got knocked out by Topuria, he took about 8 to 9 months off. Now, Max wasn't flatlined. That's the difference. Charles Oliveira was flatlined unconscious on that canvas fight, fans. And got hit by I think one of the hardest punchers in the UFC. One of the hardest punchers in the UFC. Other than, I know we got Tom Aspinall. We had Francis. But right now, man, Ilia Topuria, he's one of the hardest, sharper power punchers in the UFC right now. Getting knocked out. He didn't get knocked out just by any guy. He got knocked out by Ilia Topuria, fight fans. Out cold. And I got a lot of questions on how Charles is going to look. I'm happy to see him back in there. I'm happy to see that he has the confidence to get back in there. But damn it, fight fans, give me Charles Oliveira manager number. Give me his manager number. I want to see what his manager got to say about him coming back in October and what they thinking. Because you got to really train hard for a guy like Rafael Fiziev. Not train hard like you fight like an Islam. You got to worry about the wrestling and all of that. But you got to train hard. Fiziev brings the fight. But Rafael Fiziev is not a finisher. So it eliminates that. But Rafael Fiziev, the problem I have with him, and why I won't pick him, not only because Charles Oliveira has the overall better skill set and more tools, Rafael Fiziev starts to slow down as the fight goes on. That's not a myth. Not a myth, fight fans. When he fought Justin Gaethje, when he had a full training camp against Gaethje, he started to gas out. He was gassed out in that third round. Gaethje landed a takedown in the third round. And, Gaethje secured the win. And in the rematch with Gaethje, he was gassing out there as well. And we got 5 rounds. I know that fight was a short notice of rematch. But there have been some fights where Fiziev just slows down. And this fight is 5 rounds, fight fans. 5 rounds. And Charles Oliveira has some really, really good endurance. We see it time and time again. Even when he fought Michael Chandler, really, really good endurance. Showing off his grappling, showing off his wrestling skills. Chasing Chandler across the octagon, and Chandler, start to sprint. So how's Fiziev gonna look going 5 rounds? That's another question. But it's going to be a good fight fans. It just kind of reminded me of Volkanovski coming back too soon. I was saying too soon. He finally disappeared too soon. February. He just got KO'd by Islam in October. It's kind of the same scenario. But even if Volkanovski had a full training camp, like I always say, Ilia Topuria would have slept them anyway. It would have happened anyway. And he fought 2 of the best fighters. Like 2 of I would say Islam, the number 1 pound for pound in Islam, Makhachev. He fought him on short notice. And, I know Islam took a lot of notes on, on some holes that Volkanovski had when they first fought. And that's how Islam set up the head kick and then knocked Volkanovski out. That's how that happened. He took notes on that. And then Volkanovski came back around and got knocked out by one of the best fighters in Ilia Topuria right now. One of the best fighters. So that's how that went. But it's kind of just, I know my mind was wandering towards the Volk, and I know your mind is kind of picking back to when Volk came back so soon. And we all love Volk. We all love Volk. Cause tonight is gonna be when I fall for you over again.
Fall for you over again. Don't make me change my mind. I won't live to see another day. I swear it's true.
I won't live to see another day, cause it's true. That's Volkanovski. We love him, man. We love him. I'm glad he got the belt back champ. That's a fairy tale story. So Charles might be okay in this fight. It's less danger for him. He don't have to worry about the power as much. He don't have to worry about, a fast-paced from Fiziev in the later rounds. If I know that, if it goes to the 4th and 5th round. And I just feel like Charles had the better overall skill set, So yeah, this should be really, really good. Fight fans. I'm rooting for Charles, Brazil. We rooting for Charles to get that win. This will be, does this win do a lot for Charles Oliveira, Rafael Fiziev? I feel like he'll do a lot for him to put him back, in title contention. I feel like he'll need one more to try to get a shot back at the belt. I say Max Holloway. If Charles get past Rafael Fiziev, Max Holloway versus Charles, 2026 for the BMF belt. Give Charles his rematch. That's how I feel about that. So yeah, I did not see this coming. I did not see Rafael Fiziev fighting Charles. I didn't know. I thought maybe like a Dan Hooker, something like Dan Hooker versus Charles, something like that. Or I thought maybe they'll wait to then book Charles and Max. There's a lot of rumors going around about that. And Max said he wanted to fight Charles in a rematch and, for the BMF. So I thought those were the rumors going. No, that's what we was heading towards, Max and Charles, man. Hey, I take Rafael Fiziev and Charles. Just a little nervous. Feel like it's a quick turnaround. But hey, let's see. May the best man win. And fight fans, I'm going to talk about some news. Dana White signing a $7.7 billion deal with Paramount. $19 UFC fights on Paramount. If you got the subscription starting in 2026, this is very, very exciting. Fight parties at Cool Quake crib. You know what I'm saying? Bring your chick, bring your friend, bring your bestie Westie, and bring your popcorn and your snacks. Your favorite snacks. Because I'm having parties at my house because I have that Paramount subscription.
This is the moment UFC fans have been waiting for.
I have that Paramount, so I'll be watching those UFC fights, pay-per-views. I don't have to go out. But that's some exciting news. You can say what you want to say about Dana White. You can call him a hypocrite. You can call him a fanboy. You can say he Ryan John Jones Dickoline. You can call him a bald-head bastard. Whatever you want to call Dana White. And what I be hearing, a lot of people call Dana White in the MMA, world. This man is a businessman, and he do everything to grow this sport. He do everything to grow this sport. He's with the Fight Island he had during the COVID time when no other sports was even showing sports. He had the Fight Island. He set all that up. Then he had the fight, the fight night, the fight pay-per-view in the Spear, supporting the Mexicans, getting the Mexicans together, in the Spear on that weekend. Like, now he got this with Paramount. Then they was talking about a deal with him having with Netflix. And then he's having a slap. No, the slap, I don't watch it, the slap sport, they slap the taste out of each other's mouths. I don't watch it personally. But all I'm trying to say is that Dana White, had Conor fight Mayweather, cross promotions. Boxing is a totally different sport. He started doing that. That's what I'm saying, man. Dana's a businessman. He love what he do. I know people get mad. Oh, he's supporting Canelo and Crawford and this and that. He needs to be focused on the UFC, his fighters, and building. He is. Day in and day out, he is, fight fans. He is. I'm not trying to ride Dana White. I'm not trying to glaze him, but he is a businessman to the T. And he doing everything to grow the sport that he loved, that he started, So I love it. I love it. Dana White went in the kitchen and he whipped it up, fight fans. Shout out to Paramount. Can't wait to see this new adventure. But yes, fight fans, I wanted to put that in there for you guys if you didn't know about it. It just got announced. But yes, fight fans, Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. Comment down below how you feel about this fight. Comment if you feel like this is a fast turnaround for Charles Oliveira. And comment if you don't feel that way. If you feel like this is, the right amount of time. But yes, I'm a huge Charles Oliveira fan. That's why I was a little discouraged when I found out about this. Oh! 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 fight night. Best fight fans. Can't wait. Can't wait for UFC 319 fight fans. Make sure you tune in. We're going live. We'll have our predictions. Me and the guys this week. So make sure you tune in for that. But fight fans, I'm out. Tell a friend, tell a friend. You wonder. I know.
And you know this.